Bonjour, welcome to episode number 6 of the vlog, I think. This is the first not entirely cycling related vlog. It will still be mostly cycling, but yeah, I'm on a family holiday in the south of France. I'm currently paddle boarding on Lac Hortan, just west of Bordeaux a bit. So yeah, this is my first experience of paddle boarding. It's much harder than it looks, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can go out on the lake a bit. It's pretty shallow, so if I fall in, it should be okay. But yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. I hope to go cycling later in the week. The weather's nice. It's very, very flat, so we hope to do maybe 100 miles, but we'll see how we get on. Cool. Time for some paddle boarding. Well, we've picked up the bikes, hired a couple of, Jason's slagging me off for vlogging. It's alright, I'm in France, nobody knows what I'm saying. Nobody knows what I'm saying anyway, I suppose. What is it that I worry about? So we've picked up the bikes, we've hired a couple of Cube GTCs. I've been out for half an hour, done 10 miles or so on them. Yeah, it's really, really hot. We hope to do about 100 miles tomorrow, but we're going to have to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning to, well, or Sunday. We're going to leave about 7 o'clock in the morning to try and beat the heat. But yeah, so we're in Lac and I. What's this place called? Lac and I Ocean. On the basically Port Rush, on the west coast of southwest coast of France. So that is the Atlantic behind us. So we're just doing a quick test run on the bikes before we go out for a big run tomorrow. So yeah, or Sunday. Let's get home before we get roasted. Well, after that cycle, it's definitely time to cool off in the sea, or in the lake, sorry. It was so seriously hot. More about the cycle later, but for now, I need to cool off for sure. Yesterday it was paddle boarding. Today in the canoe, so William and I, that's William. We are out on a canoe on the lake again. Good bit out from the shore, but it's class. So me and Jason and Alan, sorry, Jason and Alan and I don't know, my grammar's crap. We went out for a bit of a spin on the bikes that we hired this morning. We did 20 miles or so, and it was really, really hot. I don't even know what temperature it was, but it was pretty tough. The bikes are really lovely. 28mm tires, which is interesting. We rode on the road to a place called Lac and I Ocean, and then we turned and we came back down through the cycle path through the forest. Not as flat as I expected it to be, but the plan is to do maybe a slightly bigger run tomorrow morning, maybe 40 miles, and then on Sunday it's going to be a little bit cloudier and cooler, so we're going to try and do 100 miles on Sunday. So. out on the paddleboard again. We headed out for another spin on the bikes this morning. Just Jason and I, Alan didn't join us. Basically we did the circumference of this lake here. So cycled the whole way around the lake. So it was about 30 miles or so. We went a bit earlier in the day. We went at 10 o'clock. We're home for shortly after 12. Still really too hot, to be honest, by the time we get home. Tomorrow's to be slightly cooler and cloudier, so we might be able to be out for a little bit longer tomorrow. Yeah, it's kind of interesting around here with the cycle paths and stuff, and yeah, it's interesting with the cycle path. Okay, so I wasn't having much luck vlogging on the paddleboard there, so I thought I would come back to the house and do it. Yes, today's ride was interesting. We did 30 miles around the lake. One of the things about this part of France is there is a really extensive network of cycle paths, like miles in every direction, which is incredible, and which is really, really cool that they have that infrastructure and they have that investment in cycling. And the downside to that is it means that drivers expect you to use the cycle paths, and they don't take kindly to you cycling on the road. The reason we weren't using the cycle paths is yesterday on our way back from our cycle, we came along a cycle path and used it to get back to the town rather than on the road. And the cycle paths around here are mostly tarmacked. There's some that are gravel, which makes planning a route hard because you don't know if it's going to be a gravel or tarmac route. There are some that are gravel, but a lot of them are tarmacked. But the surface is so variable. The surface could be amazing, or the surface could be really potholy and rough. A case in point today, at one point we thought, no, right, we've been on the road for a while, we'll try this cycle path here that goes to the same place. It's going to be 10 kilometers long, and honestly within the first 20 meters the surface was so bumpy and rough that it wasn't suitable for road bikes at all, so we had to come back out and go along the road. Flip side of that is there was the cycle path today, which was incredible. It is a road, it's an actual road, but they close it for the summer months so that cyclists and runners and walkers and stuff can use it, and there's no traffic light on it, and that was incredible. Now kind of a bit put off cycling on the roads, which is a bit annoying. I thought the French people would be a bit more respectful of cyclists given their, you know, love of the sport, but it is what it is.
A few inches later.
Coffee stop in Poliac.
To see
the guys are less than impressed with my vlogging, you know, taking the piss out of me, you know. Par for the course, to be fair.
Vlogging on his vlog.
yesterday, so just after our coffee stop, the battery in the Osmo died, so didn't get any more footage of the bike ride. So in the end, what we did, we're just on our way back to leave the bikes back to the higher pace. Now, I'm not driving, by the way, Alan is driving, just to be clear on that point. So we're on our way back to the bike place to leave the bikes back. But what we did yesterday in the end was, so we had planned to try and do 100, but with the weather it was just going to be too hot to do 100 miles, so we scrapped that plan and did a slightly shorter route. We also waited until yesterday to go for our bigger ride rather than Saturday, because the weather here at the minute is about sort of 32, 33 degrees, and yesterday was a cooler kind of 24 degrees, so I think we made the right choice by going for the ride yesterday. But yeah, so we did 67 miles in total yesterday, and we did a mixture of roads and cycle paths. So we went on the cycle paths around Maubuisson, around this part of France. Then as we headed over towards the vineyards, there weren't really any cycle paths, so we used the roads over there, and it was fine. There were quite a number of cyclists that we came across on the roads as well, so it was completely fine to cycle on the roads over there, and there was no abuse from drivers this time. And it was cool to cycle through the vineyards. Really beautiful, some incredible chateaus. Didn't stop for any samples of wine or anything, but yeah, it was really great to cycle through. Though to get there and to get back, there were a couple of very long straight roads. I mean, like, I think they must have been about sort of 12 to 15 miles, perfectly straight, perfectly flat, really dull, and really boring to ride on. But yeah, it was a good ride. Good ride. Pedalo time! Now you just stay in the boat, okay? It's our last day of holidays in France, in Maubuisson. And so it's the last chance to get to the beach and last chance to get out on the water. So we are out on the canoe. I have Caleb. Say hi, Caleb.
Hi.
Say hi, Lily.
Hi.
So we're out on the kayak on the lake. It's not as sunny and warm today, but it's still warm, just not sun splitting stones, which is a nice change.
Paddling.
Okay, I'll keep paddling. Well, that's me told, so I am going to put the camera away and keep paddling for the last day of holidays. So just to make sure we've used every possible means of transport in this holiday, plane, car, road bike, paddleboard, canoe. I'm going to give one of these a go for the first time. That's right, we're going to try a tandem. Oh, this is the most weird thing. This is absurd.
As absurd as your old man yet, man.
Yep.
Boy, this ball right here is trying to vlog at the same time. Connor, you're vlog.
Oh,
There's no free wheel.
we have a free wheel.
I know, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Alright, straight onto the cycle path. Watch out for traffic. Fair didn't look for traffic. Tell you what, this is some crack altogether. Here come the other boys now. Look at them. State of them. Well, that was an experience. It's hard to come home with all the food on the bikes, the handlebars. 2 bottles of wine, 3 chickens, 3 kilos of chips, 2 pizzas, all on the handlebars of a tandem. Managed not to fall off. Don't think I'll ever ride a tandem again, mind you. And just like that, our little lakeside week holiday in France is over. It's back to the airport and back to Northern Ireland this afternoon. But I couldn't resist one final little trip into town, into the boulangerie for some fresh croissants. I do really recommend this part of France for a family holiday. It's been really good, and the beach behind me is brilliant on the lake. Really shallow water for the kids to play in for a good bit out into the lake. Loads of activities you can do in the lake: paddleboarding, kayaking, parasailing, loads of stuff. Everything you need in the little town. You know, all the shops that you'll need, and the weather's been lovely. So yeah, definitely recommend it. It's a town called Maubuisson, which is in the southwest of France, about an hour away from Bordeaux, an hour west or so of Bordeaux. And yeah, definitely really recommend it. There are also like I said, loads of cycle paths and cycle routes around. You know, family friendly, safe, well maintained, well looked after cycle routes, which if you want to come and cycle, brilliant. Especially if you're on hybrids or mountain bikes or cycling as a family class, really good. Road cycling maybe not so much. The roads themselves are really smooth, which is brilliant, but it's very flat around here, which means you can do maybe a lot of miles as long as the wind's not too bad, but it means you get no respite either. So you no downhill because there's no uphill. So a little bit flat for my liking cycling wise, but still very good. And although the drivers are not the most respectful cyclists, again, like I said, because there are so many cycle paths, they kind of expect you to stick to them, but they're not really suitable for road bikes. So overall, my advice for cycling in France is just suss out the area you're going to and see if it has what you want in terms of cycling. But yeah, we've had a really good holiday, and now it's back home to Northern Ireland. And next cycling vlog will just be in grey, wet old Northern Ireland. But yeah, for now, back to the airport. Well, if you've made it this far in the vlog, you're about to find out, along with me, if the 2 bottles of Bordeaux red wine that I brought home in the suitcase made it through the flight. The suitcase doesn't smell of wine, so that's a good start. Good sign. One bottle. Two bottles. Both bottles of wine are intact. I have another 14 coming home by car with our friends.